I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and I've been with Lisa for about 8 years now. Things seemed great at first, normal enough. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but overall I thought we were solid. We didn't have kids and we weren't perfect, but we loved each other. Or at least I did. Looking back, I see the signs that should have tipped me off earlier, but I was too blind or too trusting to see them for what they were. It all started a few months ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, life decided to throw me a serious curveball. I won't lie, I was terrified. Lisa was supportive at first, acting like she was the perfect wife, cooking, visiting me at the hospital, crying when I cried. But then little things started to change. She'd be on her phone more than usual, texting late at night when she thought I was asleep. I caught her hiding her screen once when I came into the room unexpectedly. Her face went pale and she quickly turned away. It struck me as odd because she's never been that secretive before. I tried to brush it off, telling myself maybe she was just talking to friends or dealing with her own stuff. But the weird thing was, her behavior only got worse. She'd snap at me for no reason, act distant, and I noticed her phone was glued to her hand whenever she was near her friends or out of town. I'd ask her about it, but she'd brush it off, call me paranoid, or accuse me of being overly protective. That's when I started to feel like I was losing her, but I didn't want to believe it. One night she stayed out later than usual. I called her to check in and she said she was with her sister having a girls' night. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I saw her car parked outside a bar I didn't recognize. I decided to follow her, stupid I know, and I found her inside, not with her sister, but with someone I didn't even recognize. She was sitting on his lap, laughing, touching his arm like they were old friends. I froze outside, just watching. My stomach dropped. That was the moment I realized she'd been lying all along. The next day I confronted her. I asked her outright about who she was with that night. She stared at me with this icy glare and said, "It's none of your damn business, Mike. I was just out with friends. You're overthinking everything. Maybe you should focus on getting better instead of spying on me." Her words stung, but I saw the guilty flicker in her eyes. She lied through her teeth, and I knew deep down that this wasn't just about a night out. It was about something much bigger, something I couldn't ignore anymore. Honestly, I don't know how I kept it together in that moment. Inside, I was a mess, confused, furious, hurt. I had cancer, I was fighting for my life, and she was out there messing around behind my back. How could she? I kept replaying everything she said and did, wondering if I'd missed the signs, if I'd been blind to her true nature. I felt betrayed not just as a husband, but as a man who thought he knew his wife. It's like my whole world was crashing down around me, and I had no idea what to do. Next, after that confrontation, things only got messier. I couldn't sleep. My mind kept racing over everything I'd seen and heard. How long had she been lying? Was this a one-time thing, or had they been sneaking around for months? The worst part was that she still looked me in the eyes and lied like it was nothing, like she didn't even care about how much she was hurting me. I was trying to hold it together, but inside I was falling apart. I started digging just to get some clarity. I knew I shouldn't have, but I couldn't help myself. I checked her phone when she went to the store, and what I found was worse than I expected. Texts filled with flirtatious messages, promises of meeting up soon, even outright sex talk. It was clear they had been planning something, maybe for weeks. She was promising him she'd leave me, that she was tired of pretending. I saw the messages, the pictures they sent each other, her in lingerie, him talking about how much he wanted her. I couldn't believe I'd been blind for so long. I felt sick, angry, and betrayed all at once. I wanted to scream, cry, punch a hole in the wall, but mostly I felt heartbreak. The woman I trusted, the woman I loved, had been secretly planning her escape with my brother of all people, my own flesh and blood. I couldn't wrap my head around it. How could she do this? How could she smile at me, act like everything was fine, while she was screwing my brother behind my back? And what really cut deep was thinking about her crying during my cancer treatments, pretending to be supportive. Were those tears for me, for her? Or just for herself, for her own twisted plans? I decided I had to confront her again, but this time I was prepared. I waited for her to come home from work and I laid everything out. I told her I knew about the texts, about the secret meetings, about her lying to my face. She tried to deny it at first, calling me paranoid, saying I was crazy for suspecting her. Then she burst out laughing, that bitchy laugh that I hated. She told me I was overreacting, that I was just jealous and insecure. She said I was imagining things that she'd never do. Anything to hurt me, especially during my illness. But I wasn't buying it, not anymore. I told her I wanted her out, that I couldn't stay married to someone who'd betray me like this. She shot back with more lies, screaming that I was a jealous, controlling lunatic. She called me all kinds of names, paranoid, insecure, a loser. But I saw her for what she was, a manipulative, selfish woman who'd been planning her escape for a long time. All her tears, all her pretending to care, it was just acting. She didn't really love me. She just wanted my money, my house, everything I had built. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat there in the dark watching her pack her things. She left in the early hours, crying crocodile tears, claiming she still loved me and that it was all a mistake. Yeah, right. I knew better. As the door shut behind her, I felt a strange mix of relief and emptiness. I'd lost the woman I thought I knew, but I also knew I was finally free from her games. It hurt like hell, like a punch to the gut. But maybe this was the start of something better, or at least that's what I told myself to get through the night. The days that followed were a blur of disbelief and anger. I kept replaying everything. Every lie, every sneaky glance, every time I felt her pulling away while she was secretly planning her escape. I kept asking myself how I didn't see it sooner, how I let her get away with this for so long. It's like my whole world was shattered piece by piece, and I was just left picking up the fragments. I started to feel a strange numbness settle in. It's weird. On one hand, I was furious, practically boiling with rage. On the other, I felt this heavy, crushing sadness, like I'd lost a part of myself. I kept wondering if I was just naive or if I'd been too blind to see her true nature. And then I thought about her crying during my chemo sessions. Was that genuine? Or was she only crying for herself, for the mess she'd made? I didn't have an answer, and that haunted me more than anything. I decided I had to get some clarity, so I started digging even deeper. I hired a private investigator just to see if there was more I needed to know. I didn't want to be naive anymore. Turns out I was right. She'd been seeing my brother for months. The pie caught them sneaking around, always late at night, always trying to hide it. I saw photos, her in his apartment laughing, kissing him like they were the only two people in the world. It was like a knife twisting in my gut. She told me she loved me, that she wanted to work through everything while she was planning her life with him. That realization hit me like a ton of bricks. Not only had she lied, but she'd been actively planning to take everything I had. She used my illness to manipulate me, to get sympathy, to hide her affair. I've been a fool to trust her, especially when I was most vulnerable. I felt so betrayed, so shattered, and for a moment I wondered how I'd survive this. How do you come back from something like this? How do you even begin to forgive or move on? I confronted her again. This time I was cold, calculated. I sent her a message with the evidence I'd collected, told her. I knew everything about her affair with my brother, the lies, the manipulations. Her response: she called me crazy, said I was making things up, and accused me of trying to ruin her life. She even had the nerve to say that I was just jealous because I wasn't capable of pleasing her anymore. That was the moment I realized she was truly a bitch, a selfish, manipulative bitch who had no remorse, no shame. That was the last straw. I told her she was done, that I was done. I told her she could keep her lies, her cheating, her money, and her fake tears. I was done pretending she cared. I packed up my stuff, and I made it clear I wanted her out of my house for good. I told her I'd never trust her again and that I'd never forgive what she did. Watching her walk out that door, looking so smug and unrepentant, I felt empty, like I'd just lost everything, including a piece of my soul. So now I'm sitting here, trying to piece together what's left of my life. It's humiliating, heartbreaking, and infuriating all at once. I keep asking myself if I should fight to save what's left of the marriage or just cut her out completely. Honestly, I don't know. All I know is that I never thought someone I loved so much could be capable of this level of betrayal, and I'm still trying to figure out how to breathe again after all of it. The aftermath has been a hell of a ride. I thought once she left, I'd feel some relief, maybe even a little freedom. Instead, it's been mostly chaos inside my head. Every morning I wake up with her face in my mind, the betrayal burning like an open wound. The house feels so empty now, even with all her stuff gone. It's like I've been robbed of my peace, my trust, my sense of security. And the worst part, knowing she's out there, probably with my brother, living her little fantasy while I'm sitting here picking up the pieces. I won't lie, I've had some dark moments. I've cried more than I thought I would, furious tears I couldn't control. I've stared at the ceiling, wondering if this was all some sick joke, if I somehow deserved this. I also felt shame. How did I miss all of this? How could I be so stupid? I beat myself up constantly, replaying every sign I ignored, every moment I overlooked her lies. I kept thinking about the times she cried in front of me, how she begged for my understanding when I was sick. Were those tears real or just part of her manipulation? I think about that every day now, and it cuts deep. Some friends told me I should just cut ties, move on, forget her. Others said I should try to get her back, that maybe she's genuinely sorry. I didn't want to listen to either of it. I knew she was a liar, something I'd proven to myself more than once. And honestly, I don't think I want her back. I don't want someone who would do this to me, especially not after everything I went through with cancer. The thought of her living happily with my brother makes me sick. I can't even look at him the same way anymore. He's supposed to be my family, my brother. Instead, he's a part of this nightmare. I've been going to therapy, trying to work through all these feelings, anger, betrayal, sadness. It's hard. Every session feels like peeling an onion, more layers of shit I didn't even know I had. I've learned that I was trying to be strong, that I was hiding my pain behind cliches of staying positive and being there for her. But that was a mistake. I was too busy playing the good husband to see what was happening right under my nose. Now I see how vulnerable I was, how easy it was for her to manipulate me with her tears and her lies. I've started to rebuild my life in small ways. I've moved out of the house, got a new place, and started focusing on myself. Fitness, work, friends, I throw myself into everything I can. It's not easy. There are nights I lie awake, wondering if I'll ever really trust again or if I'll just become this broken version of myself. But I also know I can't stay stuck in this dark place forever. I can't let her win by destroying me completely. I owe myself better than that. What I'm learning is that some people are just toxic, and sometimes the only way to heal is to cut them out for good, no matter how much it hurts. I used to believe in forever, in happily ever after. Now I know that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is walk away from the ones who hurt you the most. It's what I have to do now, to reclaim myself, to find some peace, even if it's just a small piece at a time. I don't have all the answers. I probably never will. But I do know one thing: I'll survive this. Somehow. It's been a few weeks since she left, and honestly, I think I'm starting to see some light at the end of this dark tunnel. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it hits me all over again, the anger, the heartbreak, the sense of being completely played. But I also realize I've been through worse things in my life, and somehow I always found a way to keep going. This is no different. It's just a matter of taking it one day at a time. I've been focusing on my health, obviously. Without her around, I finally feel like I can breathe again. I've started eating better, hitting the gym harder, and going for long walks to clear my head. The cancer treatment was brutal enough, without this extra shit. Now, I'm trying to channel all that frustration into something productive. I've also started reconnecting with old friends, people I ignored during my marriage because I thought I didn't need anyone but her. Turns out I do. It's strange how isolation can make you forget what real support feels like. One thing that's become clear is how much I underestimated her. Lisa always had that bitchy, manipulative streak, but I thought she was just being a diva, never thought she'd go this far. I guess I was just too blind to see what was beneath her pretty face. Now I know she was always planning her escape, using my cancer as a way to get sympathy and hide her affair. Every little detail makes me want to scream, but I also use it as fuel. Fuel to rebuild myself, to learn from this mess. I've been going through her stuff, clearing out her things. It's cathartic in a way. Every item I toss feels like shedding a layer of her control. I found old love letters, photos of her and my brother, souvenirs from their secret meetings. I burned the letters and threw the souvenirs in the trash. It's a process, but it's necessary. I want no reminder of her lies or her betrayal. I want to wipe my slate clean and start over. The hardest part, honestly, is trusting again. I question everything now, every kind word, every smile. Can I trust someone again? Will I ever believe in love after this? It's a slow process, but I realize I have to rebuild that faith in myself first. I need to learn to trust my instincts, to listen to that little voice that was warning me all along but I ignored. I've been fighting to stay strong, but part of me is exhausted. Still, deep down, I know I will come out of this stronger. I have to. That's the only way to survive what feels like the biggest betrayal of my life. Sometimes I catch myself thinking about what I want next. Not just revenge or justice. I mean, genuinely happiness. I don't think Lisa ever really loved me. She loved the idea of what I provided, security, comfort, some image of a family, but she's proven she's only in it for herself. So I ask myself, what do I want from life now? A fresh start, maybe. 2. Find someone who actually cares, who's honest and loyal. Someone who won't stab me in the back when I'm vulnerable. That's the goal. I owe myself that much. So yeah, I'm hurting, I'm pissed. I've been humiliated and betrayed in ways I never thought possible. But I'm also beginning to see hope. Hope that I can rebuild my life, that I can find happiness again, even if it's not with her. I guess what I want to say to anyone reading this, if you're going through something similar, is to hold on. Trust yourself, don't settle for anyone who treats you like dirt, and remember, you are stronger than you think. No matter how bad it gets, you can rise from the ashes. I will. And I'm starting to believe maybe I'll be okay. Looking back, I realize how much this whole ordeal has changed me. I used to believe in the fairy tale, being married, sticking together through thick and thin, all that stuff. But life showed me that sometimes the people we trust the most can turn into the ones who hurt us the deepest. Lisa's betrayal was a punch I never saw coming, especially during a time when I was fighting for my life. It's hard to admit, but I've come to accept that some people are just inherently selfish and manipulative, and they don't deserve our trust or our love. What I've learned from this is that you have to value yourself first. If someone shows you who they really are, lying, cheating, using your vulnerability as a weapon, then you need to walk away, no matter how much it hurts. I spent years believing she loved me, but it was all a lie. Her tears, her promises, they were just tools to keep me silent, to keep me under her control while she plotted her escape. That realization was the hardest but also the most freeing. Now I focus on rebuilding my life piece by piece. I've cut out the toxic people, started trusting again, and I'm finally learning how to truly love myself. The pain still lingers, sure, but it's less sharp now. It's more like a scar, a reminder of what I've been through and a testament to my resilience. I've come to see that healing isn't a straight line, and some days are better than others. But each day I wake up, I remind myself that I'm still here, still fighting, still capable of happiness. To anyone out there who's facing betrayal, heartbreak, or just feeling lost, know this: you are not alone. It's okay to feel broken, to cry, to be angry. But don't let that pain define you. Use it as fuel to grow stronger. Trust takes time to rebuild, and sometimes you have to learn to love yourself first before anyone else can truly love you. I don't have all the answers, and I probably never will, but I do know that standing here today, I'm a survivor. I'm scarred, but I'm still standing, and that's enough to keep moving forward. This chapter of my life might be over, but the story is. I'm choosing to see this as a beginning, not an end. And no matter how dark things seem, I believe there's always a way back to the light. You just have to find it within yourself, and never let anyone take away your dignity, your worth, or your hope.